Good morning, dear students. Today we discussed about the diuretics categories of drugs. That is, these agents mainly increase the excretion of solute and water. Here we plan to discuss about this loop and thiazides categories of drugs. Okay. So what is diuretics? Diuretics, that is substance that promotes the diuresis, that is the increased production of urine. All diuretics increase the excretion of water from bodies. So we go to the main classes of these diuretics categories. That is high efficacy diuretics. We can classify it as high efficacy, moderate, low efficacy. So these high efficacy category diuretics are main drugs are furosemide, bumetanide, ethionine acid, torezomide. Moderate efficacy diuretics are mainly thiazides and thiazides related diuretics. Another category is the that is high efficacy diuretics is also called as loop diuretics. Okay, low efficacy diuretics are mainly potassium sparing diuretics, that is spironolactone, amiloride, carbonic anhydrase inhibitors like acetosamide, osmotic diuretics like mannitol. All this comes under this low efficacy diuretics. Okay, then today we're discussing about this main two categories of diuretics drugs, that is loop diuretics or high efficacy diuretics, and moderate efficacy diuretics is the thiazides and thiazides related drugs. Okay, so before going these main two categories, first we go the rough idea about the different categories of drugs, site of actions and main mechanisms. So we saw the mainly categories are this high efficacy diuretics, moderate, low efficacy. Okay, this first here they showing the carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. This carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, this comes under the low efficacy categories of diuretics. So this main site of this carbonic anhydrase categories of drugs. Here this picture is also showing this the mainly this acts on the proximal convoluted tubule. If we take one drug, this acetosamide, this most commonly used carbonic anhydrase inhibitors. Okay, this carbonic anhydrase is usually present in the nephron, ciliary bodies of eyes, gastric mucosa, pancreas. So we administrated this acetosamide, this the carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. What happened? This main site of this action of this drugs on proximal convoluted tubule. This mainly binds and inhibits the enzyme carbonic anhydrase. So this results the blocking the sodium bicarbonate reabsorptions, and finally this results the increased excretion of sodium, potassium bicarbonate and water. This is the main actions. Okay, next we move to the another category, that is osmotic diuretics. Osmotic diuretics, these categories of drugs, this main role, if we take the one drug, that's the mannitol. Mannitol, actually this drug is pharmacologically inert substance, this is not absorbed orally. This mainly causes the osmotic diarrhea. When this given as IV, mannitol gets filtered by the glomerulus but is not reabsorbed. Okay, water is retained in the proximal tubule and descending limb of Henle's loop by this osmotic effect. This resulting water diuresis. These mannitols, that is osmotic diuretics categories, this mainly oppose the action of ADH in the collecting tubule. So this results the increase the urinary excretion of the sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium. Okay. Next important category, that's the loop diuretics. So this loop diuretics of categories where this acts mainly this acts on the thick ascending limb of loop of Henle. If we take one example, that is loop diuretics, most commonly used one is furosemide. Furosemide, if you administrate it, what happens? This inhibits the sodium chlorine reabsorptions in the thick ascending limb of loop of Henle, and by blocking the sodium potassium chlorine symphoter. and this increase the excretion of sodium and chlorine in the urine, because this large amount of sodium chlorine is reabsorbed in these segments. So these loop diuretics excrete a large amount of sodium ions, is highly efficacious diuretics. This diuretics response increase with dose. There is a high ceiling effect. Then loop diuretics categories. Next we come to this the thiazides category. What's the important action of this thiazides categories of drugs? Thiazides, if you administrated thiazides category, this mainly reach the distal tubule, and there this binds and block the sodium chlorine co-transporter system. So as a result, this increase the excretion of sodium and chlorine. Okay, another important drug, that is thiazide. So today we discussing about this loop diuretics and thiazide. Hope this now we get some idea about this site of actions and mechanism. Main mechanism of main important categories of diuretics, the carbonic anhydrous, osmotic, loop and thiazide diuretics. So we roughly go to this the site of action and mechanism of these important categories of diuretics. This osmotic diuretics, this site of action on proximal tubules, loop of Henle, collecting ducts. This mainly inhibition of water and the sodium reabsorptions. Carbonic anhydrous inhibitors, this mainly acts on the proximal tubules. This mainly causes the inhibition of bicarbonate reabsorption. So this loop diuretics is highly efficacious drug. This mainly acts on the loop of Henle and this inhibiting sodium, potassium and chlorine co-transporter. This thiazides categories, this mainly acts on the distal tubule, and its main role is the inhibition of sodium chlorine co-transporter. Potassium sparing diuretics, this acts on the distal tubule collecting duct, and this results the inhibition of sodium reabsorptions and potassium excretion. Okay, next we go to the some common side effects of main categories of diuretics: thiazides, loop diuretics, potassium sparing, carbonic anhydrous. These thiazides categories, this mainly saying this the adverse reaction is hypokalemia and metabolic alkalosis, then hyperuricemia, hypercalcemia and hyperlipidemia. This hyperglycemia, this induced by thiazides, more precipitates diabetes mellitus on long-term use. Thiazides usually increase the potassium loss as the hypokalemia, and this decrease the insulin release. So this results the hyperglycemia. So this correction of hypokalemia usually reduces the hyperglycemia. Okay, and main another notable ones are the impotency in men, and this others are this GIT disturbances, allergic reactions. Okay, loop diuretics categories. What are the most notable side effects of loop diuretics? Hypokalemia and metabolic alkalosis. So we checking this the electrolytes and metabolic level. All these potassium, calcium, sodium, magnesium all in the decreased level, and metabolic level this glucose, lipid, uric acid all this in the increased level. So this hypokalemia is a dose dependent, and this mainly causes the drowsiness, confusion, dizziness, cardiac arrhythmias. Now how can we correct or prevent this adverse reaction like this hypokalemia, metabolic alkalosis? We can administrated high dietary intake of potassium ions and oral potassium chlorine supplements, or by adding potassium sparing diuretics. From this help we can prevent or correct these disorders. Another most notable ones are this hyponatremia, dehydration, hypocalcemia, hypomagnesemia, hyperuricemia. This hypocalcemia and hypomagnesemia are usually seen after prolonged use. Hyperuricemia, that's the increased uric acid absorption. This may usually precipitate acute gout on long-term use. So another one is the ototoxicity. This is another most notable side effects of loop diuretics. That is ototoxicity. Loop diuretics causes hearing loss by this toxic effects on the hair cells in the internal ear. Okay, this more common with ethacronic acid. This loop diuretics is mainly common and is usually dose related. Tinnitus and vertigo may be common with this ethacronic acid loop diuretics. So use of these other ototoxic drugs like this aminoglycoside should be avoided. Okay, another notable ones are hyperglycemia. Then others are this the GIT disturbances, allergic reactions. Potassium sparing diuretics is also hyperkalemia, this metabolic acidosis, gynecomastia, carbonic anhydrous, again this hypocalcemia, metabolic acidosis. Okay. So these are the rough idea about this the main uses and side effects of diuretics categories. This is the loop of Henle, that's the loop diuretics, high-ceiling diuretics, osmotics, potassium sparing, thiazides. So these loop diuretics and thiazides categories we will discuss. Okay. So first we go to this the loop diuretics categories. We are seen about this the loop diuretics main site and mechanism of action. Where this mainly acts on the thick ascending limb of loop of Henle. Okay, this main mechanism is the inhibition of this sodium, potassium and chlorine symporter. This mainly blocking this sodium, potassium and chlorine symporter. Okay, what are the other actions of this loop diuretics? This mainly increase the excretion of potassium, calcium and magnesium. But there is no hypocalcemia because this calcium ions gets reabsorbed in the distal tubule. This also increase the uric acid reabsorptions in the proximal tubule. Okay, and this also induce the prostaglandin E2 type, that is this inhibits the sodium reabsorptions in loop and this diuresis. If you administrated this IV furosemide, this causes the venodilation, so this reduces the left ventricular filling pressure, so this relieves the pulmonary congestion in acute CHF and in pulmonary edema even before the onset of diuresis. Okay, so these are the important loop diuretics: furosemide, torsemide and bimitonide. These are the important loop diuretics. So this loop diuretics, this mainly used in treatment of edema and CHF by inhibiting sodium and chloride reabsorptions in the loop of Henle in the renal tubules. These are the most commonly used one: furosemide, bimitonide, torsemide. Okay. Then what are the pharmacokinetics of these loop diuretics categories? All these loop diuretics are the rapid GI absorptions and is also administered as IM and IV. All these drugs are extensively protein bound in plasma. In general, all these drugs shows the short half-lives. Elimination, in case of elimination, all these drugs unchanged in kidney or by congestion in liver and secretion in bile. These are the important indications in case of edema. This is the congestive heart failure, acute pulmonary edema, cirrhosis, nephrotic syndromes, hypertension, hypercalcemia. These are some important indications of loop diuretics categories of drugs. Side effects are also we discussed is the hypokalemia, hypocalcemia, hypomagnesemia, ototoxicity. Okay, this furosemide this shows the half-life 6 hours, variable oral bioavailability. Torsemide and bumetanide this drugs shows the almost 100% of bioavailability. Okay, so we can easily remember this the loop diuretics, that's etocrine, torsemide, furosemide, azoxamide, bumetanides is the clinical uses in case of heart failure, hypertension, edema. Side effects are hyponatremia, hypokalemia, hypomagnesemia, ototoxicity. These are adverse reactions, most notable hypokalemia and metabolic acidosis, hypercholesteremia, dehydration, hypocalcemia, hypersensitivity, ototoxicity. Ototoxicity especially seen with this ethylchrinic acid. IV use mainly results. Okay, this furosemide is available as 20, 40 and 80 mg, available as tablet solutions, IV injections. Main indications in case of edema is associated with heart failure, hypertension, acute pulmonary edema, nephrotic syndromes. Is a pregnancy category C drug. It should be used only when prescribed by the practitioner. Next we move to the drug interactions of loop diuretics. Okay, if you administrate this digitalis with this loop diuretics, what happened? This increase the risk of arrhythmias. Cisplatin, aminoglycosides, these are ototoxic drugs. If you administrated with loop diuretics, this increase the risk of ototoxicity. Okay, anticonvulsants on thrombolytics, if you administrated with loop diuretics, this increase the risk of bleeding. If lithium is administrated, this increase the risk of lithium toxicity. Phenytonin, this mainly decrease the diuretics effectiveness. And this NSAIDs and salicylates, this categories drugs mainly decrease the diuretic effectiveness of loop diuretics. Okay, next we move to this the next category, this the thiazides diuretics. So these thiazides have a moderate efficacy as diuretics. Because it's 90% of the filtered sodium is already reabsorbed before reaching the distal tubules, and this blocks the sodium chlorine symporter in the early distal convoluted tubule, and this increase the excretion of sodium and chlorine. If you take this the example, this the thiazide. If a thiazide is administered, this reach the distal tubule, where this binds and blocks the sodium chlorine co-transporter system. So this results the increase the excretion of sodium and chlorine ions. And these thiazides diuretics also inhibits the carbonic anhydrous activities, and this increase the bicarbonate loss. This also increase the excretion of magnesium and potassium, but this decrease the excretion of calcium and uric acid, so this results the hypercalcemia. Okay, and in diabetes insipidus, this also decrease the glomerular filtration rate, and this decrease the urine output. Okay, these are the some important actions of thiazide diuretics. This main site is the distal tubule, and this main mechanism is blocking the sodium chlorine co-transporter system, and this result this increase the excretion of sodium and chlorine ions. So this is the important category. This the thiazides, loop diuretics, hydrochlorothiazides and furosemide. Furosemide is the loop diuretic, so where this acts loop diuretics categories, this mainly acts on the thick ascending limb of the loop of Henle, and there this blocking the sodium potassium chlorine symporter, and increase the excretion of sodium and chlorine in the urine. Okay, and this also increase the excretion of potassium, calcium, magnesium, but there is no hypocalcemia because these calcium ions get reabsorbed in the distal tubules. So this loop diuretics categories mainly increase the uric acid reabsorptions in the proximal tubules. This hydrochlorothiazides, These mainly thiazides category drugs. We already discussed this thiazides categories where this acts on the distal tubule, where this binds or blocks the sodium chlorine cotransporter system, and as the results this increase the excretion of sodium and chlorine ions. Okay, this increase the excretion of magnesium chlorine, but this decrease the excretion of calcium ions and uric acid, so this results the hypercalcemia. Okay, so these are the main indications of thiazides diuretics, mainly used in congestive heart failure, hypertension, insipidus, calcium calculi. So main indications of thiazides heart failure, systolic hypertensions. These thiazide drugs we already discussed. I think this mainly shows the contraindications with the gout, because this mainly increase the uric acid absorption. So this precipitates the acute gout on long term use of this thiazide this diuretics. Mainly this so this allopurinol is may be needed. This mainly contraindicated in gout, and the side effects are glucose intolerance, hyperlipidemia, hyperuricemia, hypercalcemia, hyponatremia, hypokalemia. These are sorry, these are the some important side effects. Next we come to this the pharmacokinetics. All these thiazides categories of drugs are rapid GI absorptions. Distribution in the extracellular space, elimination is unchanged in kidney. All these drugs shows the variable elimination kinetics and therefore variable half-lives of elimination, this ranging from hours to days. Okay, main site of thiazide diuretics where this acts on the distal convoluted tubule. That says this acts on the distal convoluted tubule. So this binds and blocks the sodium chlorine cotransporter system and increase the excretion of sodium and chlorine ions. This usually showing the side effects like hyperglycemia, hyperlipidemia, hyperuricemia, hypercalcemia. Okay, these are the some notable drug interactions with NSAID drugs and lithium. Thiazides also induce the lithium toxicity, and these NSAID drugs may reduce the diuretics and hypertensive effects of thiazides drugs. Other some notable drug interactions with digitalis. This causes the hypokalemia. Estimizole is the non-sedating antihistamines. This mainly causes the arrhythmias. Diuretics, if it's with atracurium, this the skeletal muscle relaxants, this results the hypokalemia. Okay, so we can summarize the common adverse effects of loop diuretics, thiazides and thiazides related drugs. If we check this, the hypokalemia, these side effects are less common than thiazides in case of loop diuretics. So this hypokalemia, all these are most common in this the thiazides diuretics. In case of this dehydration, fall in BP, all these are most seen in this loop diuretics with overuse of loop diuretics. Then dilution hyponatremia, this is after vigorous use of loop diuretics in CHF, but these are very rare with thiazides. Then GIT disturbances, CNS disturbances, allergic reaction, this hypersensitivity reactions, all these are common with this both this loop and thiazides. Then hearing loss is the ototoxicity is only with the loop diuretics categories. Okay, next we come to this the questions for you. This the diuretics of choice for acute pulmonary edema. Okay, you try to find out this answer. From this category, which diuretic is most preferred for this acute pulmonary edema? Loop diuretic, thiazides, spironolactone or mannitol. Okay, thiazides categories causes metabolic alkalosis, metabolic acidosis, respiratory alkalosis, respiratory acidosis, which one? So these two are the questions for you. Go through all these uh, topics and try to find out these answers. If any doubts, you can and ask me. Okay, thank you.